Blessings at Magnolia Farm. Emma Sinclair had never planned to return to Magnolia Hollow. The small southern town held both her sweetest childhood memories and the pain of losing her parents at a young age. But when her Aunt Margaret passed away, leaving her the Magnolia Farm bed and breakfast, she had no choice but to return. Driving up the winding gravel path, her heart pounded as she took in the sprawling white farmhouse with its wraparound porch. The scent of honeysuckle drifted through the warm summer air, mingling with the fresh earth from the fields beyond. The place was beautiful, just as she remembered. "Miss Emma, welcome home." The deep, familiar voice startled her, and she turned to see James Tucker standing near the barn. He was the farm's foreman, and from what Aunt Margaret had told her in letters, he had been running things for years. His strong frame, sun-kissed skin, and kind brown eyes made him a fixture of Magnolia Farm, as much a part of it as the land itself. "James," she greeted, suddenly nervous, "it's good to see you." "I just wish it were under different circumstances," he said gently, removing his hat. "Your aunt, she was something special." Emma swallowed the lump in her throat and nodded. Yes, she was. Over the next few weeks, Emma found herself overwhelmed by the responsibility of running both the bed and breakfast and the farm. Despite the help of the loyal staff, there were early mornings, demanding guests, and unpredictable farm challenges. James was always there, steady as a rock, offering guidance and support. One evening, after a long day of tending to guests and reviewing finances, Emma found herself on the porch swing, watching the sunset over the fields. James approached, holding 2 glasses of sweet tea. "Thought you could use this," he said, handing her one. She accepted it with a grateful smile. "James, I don't know how Aunt Margaret did all this. I feel like I'm in over my head." He chuckled softly. "Your aunt had years of experience, and she trusted you to find your own way. You've got a good heart, Emma. That's what this place needs." As the days passed, their conversations became deeper, their laughter more frequent. James spoke of his faith, of how he believed Magnolia Farm was part of God's plan for his life. Emma found herself drawn not only to his steadfastness, but to the way he lived his faith so genuinely. Slowly, her own faith, long buried under the weight of grief and doubt, began to stir again. One rainy afternoon, while checking on the horses, Emma slipped in the mud. Before she could hit the ground, James was there, catching her in his arms. Their eyes met, and for a moment, time stood still. "Emma," he murmured, his voice thick with something unspoken. She could barely breathe. "James, I—" Before she could finish, he set her gently on her feet and took a step back. "I ain't gonna rush you, Emma, but I want you to know I've been praying, and I believe God brought you back here for more than just the farm." Tears filled her eyes, but this time they weren't from sorrow. They were from hope. I think he did too." Months passed, and as autumn arrived, so did Emma's realization. Magnolia Farm was home, not just because of the land or the house, but because of the people, because of James. One crisp evening, under a sky painted in shades of gold and pink, James took her hand in his. "Emma, I don't know what the future holds, but I know one thing. Wherever you are, that's where I want to be." Emma smiled, the peace of God settling deep in her heart. "Then let's trust him together." And with that, Magnolia Farm became not just a place of work, but a place of love, faith, and new beginnings.